This is Lauren.
This is Trey.
And this
is the Partnership Podcast.
Super profesh.
Set my timer for 29 minutes.
I'm loving my shirt because
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
so many of my clients and I have been...
No to love? Is that what it means?
I don't know what it's supposed to mean. The reason I got it is, I think it's supposed to be no heart.
Does it have a period also?
Yeah, no period. The reason I'm loving it is that I've been talking to a ton of clients recently about how at our Like a Pro training, we started it off with that no 3 different ways exercise where we run around the room. And we've been talking about the power of our no, the power to be able to say no in our body or no thank you or to step away. Also, how it feels to be rejected. Remember how also it was such an exercise in when we would put the hand on the shoulder and we would feel someone's no, and you would it was such an interesting journey inside of self.
Can you refresh the exercise?
Absolutely. Because this would be fun to play as a family too. Okay, so we learned this at Wheel of Consent Like a Pro training. Shout out to all our friends and colleagues. And it stuck with me so much because this is how we began our 5 days together. Did we spend 5 entire days together? And the purpose is that this was a very hands-on training. We were going to be doing a lot of touch-based exercises or invited to play touch-based exercises. And so it was shared with us that before we could do any of that, we needed to be comfortable in our no in the presence of other people. These strangers, which sat really beautifully with us because 5 months before we had been in a Tantra party setting. We have shared the story. I will link the episode below where that type of structure had not been set up. And I was harmed. Therefore, you were harmed because you watched your beloved be harmed. So this was a very cool exercise for us, and it still has had long-lasting impacts. So let me set it up. Human beings are walking around a space. I did this with clients the other day too, so it works with just 2 people. When you are ready to practice saying no, expressing no, you plant your feet. Then another human being finds you, and they stand square in front of you, about arm's width distance apart. And they slowly extend their right hand to your shoulder. Slowly. There's no scaring. There's no coming up behind. It is a slow, eye-connected experience. When that hand is placed on your shoulder, you have 3 different ways you can say no. Number 1, you can look the person square in the eye and say no. Number 2, you can remove that hand from your shoulder, gently but firmly. Number 3, you can slide your body away from the hand. 3 ways. After that, nothing is said, nothing is done. You can share a smile if you want to. You can do nothing. You move apart. It is encouraged that every person doing this exercise should practice saying or expressing no all 3 ways and receiving the no all 3 ways. So the exercise is only complete when everyone has received no, had their hand moved, and had another's body slid away from them, and when you have done all 3 of those things. Seems like a really simple exercise. That's it. Scene. I would love to ask you what you remember from that exercise.
I'm assuming the sense, like the ping of rejection, and then sitting with that, where it's like, oh, that still comes up even within a structured exercise where the absolute expectation is you're going to receive nothing but no. But still, the sensation of like, ouch. And then letting that move through you, and then like getting on the other side of that where maybe it's acceptance or it's just, the wisdom of it. Where wisdom is what? Experience without the emotion. Mm-hmm. So you now have the wisdom and then it's okay. Which is very healthy.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you hit the nail on the head. I think when one hears about a game like this or an exercise like this, it is so easy to roll one's eyes. I did this with clients the other day, and again, going into the exercise, I could tell that they were a little eye rolly. These are incredible clients, so they're so down for any game I teach them and are always there for the revelations that come. But I think when you go into an exercise like this, you're like, it's a game, like I know what I'm going to expect. And then, yeah, you're damn right. When you put, I remember feeling so apologetic. Oh my God, I'm so sorry I had my hand on you. You said no. I remember feeling sleazy as I would slink away from the no. I remember feeling really stuck in my throat chakra when I knew it was my time to say no. It was, especially fascinating for me because we had come out of this instance just months before in a group setting, yada, yada. We always talk about renegotiation of trauma through play. It was in essence a version of that, which was really amazing and really amazing for me to be doing it in a space with you and feeling in my body that our bodies together were going to get an opportunity to work through some of these scars, which directly correlates to my work because you better believe, statistics are 1 in 4 individuals have experienced some form of non-consensual assault towards their bodies. That is people who are reporting things. That's not even talking about when we were little and people would be like, sit on Uncle Johnny's lap or kiss Aunt Susie goodbye. That's not even considering all of the times in which our bodily autonomy was not respected or protected. I would argue that every single solitary one of us has an experience of not being able to say no when we wanted to say no, in order to protect the feelings of someone else, in order to not make them feel rejected, in order to be good, play the right role, do the service opportunity, give outside of one's limits, you name it. And then what we can do is find ourselves feeling slightly embittered that since I am giving outside of my limits or doing or giving of my body, allowing you to take of my body, then why is not the other doing the same for me? We were just having to talk about the baby the other day because we got a report that she was failing art. She's not actually failing art, but we thought she was. And our initial response is always like, oh my God, how embarrassing. And that's the type of parenting that we were parented with, right? Like you get good grades so that your parent feels good about themselves. And we have to always continually remind each other. It's such a beautiful practice of, that's not how we're parenting this one. She gets to fail on her own terms. And if she wants to fail art, she gets to fail art and then retake art. And if she wants to be in high school forever, that's going to be her choice.
It was a really healthy text conversation because
so cool.
I was out of the house and I got because it's in 2025, you get notifications when your kid's grade gets updated. So it's constant feedback, which is probably not healthy, but whatever. So yeah, I got she's failing art. I text or I voice memo you going like, this makes me angry. Mm-hmm. Like I'm pissed. And what did you say back, baby?
I applauded you for doing it in that context. Uh-huh. That is not something you would share with her. That you were coming to shared partner. So I was like, thank you for this space. So first I said, I'm not even going to give you feedback.
That's right.
I have
because
ideas.
I wanted to text her like, what the fuck?
I'm sure you did.
What the fuck is this?
And I could tell you texted me instead. And correct. I just wanted to be proud because I was like, he didn't ask for, I re-listened to the message and I was like, you didn't ask for coaching. No. So I was literally like.
It was a vent. It was really like a what the fuck vent.
Yeah.
And then.
So I might have said, if she wants to fail, she gets to fail.
And then in your wisdom, you pointed that out and you pointed, how hilarious would it be if she art, because she's a very talented artist.
Such a good artist. This is why we were like, what?
Like she could sell her work online. It would
her
sell.
Pottery, her drawing, her painting, the things that are in this human's mind, her mixed media.
Correct.
she'll just create. Trey has a whole windowsill full of her art right now, where she just did a collection of seasons, and we were like, "You just did this?" Yeah.
So you pointed that out, and I applauded you, and I was like, "Thank you for pointing these things out." And the fail thing was so funny, and that kind of reframed it. And then I went, "Wait a minute. Am I a fan of like traditional public education? Fuck no, I'm not." It's like, what's your deal, Trey? And then it came back to, oh, I'm taking this personally as a reflection of I'm a poor parent. And then it's like, oh,
This
and then
kind
then I didn't think about it because you checked in when I
did
got
later.
home.
I was like, "Hey, was that enough of a conversation?" Because I'd felt bad because it was in between clients and I was just like popping onto voice
And it
memo
was
with you.
it closed the circle. With my finger right now, I'm just drawing a circle, and it started off with frustration, resentment, and what I wanted to do was react. I wanted to send I wanted to be the more powerful person and kind of send some type of like, this is unacceptable, you're in trouble, things need to get taken away, some type of text message. I didn't do that. I vented to you. I go, I'm feeling all this stuff, and I even included like, honey, I'm not angry at you. I'm angry at the kid. You pointed out all these beautiful things. And I go, oh, yeah? Oh, yeah, that's right. That's funny. And then it closed. Problem resolution. I bet there's a bunch of steps in between. And that was it. It was done. And I didn't think about it literally until you brought it up. Problem solution.
Wild, right?
That's great.
I think two things that I'd love to extract from that. One, I want to circle back to, which is, in essence, it is a way of us respecting her no, right? She is saying no to something that we would prefer her to do, right? It is an exercise of autonomy. So I want to come back to it. I do. And because the other thing that I think is really important to name here is that you identified, oh, I don't ascribe to that value system. And so why is this thing even frustrating me? And so often, this is what I do with clients.
I don't ascribe to that value system.
You're like, oh, wait. Traditional education has so many flaws. I'm actually not a believer in forcing kids into a mold.
I'm trying to get a hold of somebody in order to book something, in order to give them money, in order to book something, and I can't get clear communication back, and it's not a priority for them. I don't ascribe to that value system. Yeah. Oh, so instead of me taking it personally, I could just that's not the way I would do it.
And being like, is the reason I'm getting angry, what's that connected to, right? So we are not of the mindset that we want to fit the baby into a mold. That's not my heart for her. I don't think it's yours either. We want her to have skills. We want her to have tools. We want her to be kind. We want her to be compassionate, empathetic, loving.
And also our 14, about to be 15-year-old, the way she is designed, she has to learn lessons the hard way. And it seems like over and over again.
It does.
Where it's what the fuck?
For those...
And then certain things out of her mouth. It's like, did you mean to be so cutting/insulting?
So for human design nerds out there, she is also, just like Trey, a splenic projector. And yet, different than Trey, she has the 1-3 profile lines. And so what Trey is inferring is this 3 profile line is all about learning through failure. And that's how she's going to teach in the world. It's how she's going to show up. It's so interesting because she, I don't know if you've noticed, does a lot of educating Best Friend R about protein intake, which I know you roll your eyes, and yet that is literally how she's supposed to show up in the world, is that through her failures, she is learning. She showed me last night this whole like Instagram teacher who's a nutritionist who was sharing fantastic stuff.
Great.
The only reason she knows to look at that stuff is because of the consistent failures that we have. equipping this 14-year-old with knowledge and food.
What I wanted to say was she can educate someone else on protein intake and then eat popcorn all day and then wonder why she doesn't feel good.
But
I don't feel good. It's like, motherfucker, you've eaten popcorn and goldfish all day.
So it can drive Trey nuts because Trey loves to, I mean, you've heard him say on this podcast so many times, that's what mentors are for. That's what coaches are for, to save you the pain of the failure. They've done it already and they're
Cut the learning curve.
Exactly. So our baby is going to be one of those people someday who helps somebody cut their learning curve. And yet she is one who's going to make the mistakes so that people like you.
What's that called when you don't subscribe to your own advice that you give out?
Hypocrisy, but she's 14. She's 14, hon. She's 14. She's 14. Yeah. And it is really, really interesting. I'll send you, people are doing this trend on social media right now of having ChatGPT roast something. And so one of my human design people said, ChatGPT, can you roast each profile combo? All right. And so I will send you the 1-3 roast. You will cackle because it's her.
Cool.
It's basically like the person who doesn't subscribe to their advice. They do all this research and then they do the opposite thing, which is when we hear her talk to her best friend Dar about all of these nutrition things, that it's like, wow, you do know, you've been listening, but then she doesn't do it herself. It's fascinating and it's beautiful. And it is not, the moral of the story is she is a different human being who has agency in so much as she is not harming another person, harming herself. I mean, she's not eating, but, deeper levels, is respecting the value systems of this home, that type of stuff. It is okay if she learns her own way. And us learning to respect that, verbally or just through behavior, is an interesting process inside of our bodies because it can feel personal to us. It can feel like a rejection of our feedback, a rejection of our wisdom or our counsel. And what's interesting is it's not that. How I wish our parents had taken our no's less personally. Mm-hmm. My God, what it would have changed.
Mm-hmm. And then I have to watch it where this is clearly a stupid way of doing things.
Exactly.
So then I just have to go, ooh, don't talk.
The way I wanted to relate that directly back to that exercise, the no exercise, is that, I heard many people say when we did a sharing in training afterwards that it was wild to go, this is an exercise. And I know that this no is not about me. And yet I have internalized this no when I receive it.
Sure.
The thing that I think we could spend a little time talking about today is no when it comes to requests for sex, requests for intimacy, requests for conversation, requests for time. Because it has come up, that's why this shirt is on my body. Because I feel like it has been a thing that I have been talking about so much with clients recently, is how inside of partnership, where sexual expression is a desire, how on earth do we respect, protect, celebrate each other's no's? How do we not take it personally? Mm-hmm. Because it can hurt. It can feel like rejection. Because that's a wild experience of, we're inside a partnership, chosen partnership, where it feels like it's like, I'll hear all the time, well, I shouldn't have to really work hard for this because I chose to be married. And so when you choose to be married, you get sex, right? So it's like, oh, but we had the same goal. We had the same value. Why is she rejecting me now? I get the confusion. I do, at a base level. I really do. And yet, inside of this partnership, we have chosen partnership, but we're autonomous individuals inside of this partnership with our own domains, the things we have a right to and responsibility for, and our own limits and boundaries. You better believe I was horny last night when you came home late from draft day 1. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, draft day 1.
Draft day 1.
First round pick.
First
A
round.
lot of young men became millionaires last night. Let's respect
It's
the
one of Trey's
process.
favorite days of the year.
It's so funny where the draft, I wait for it all year, and then when it starts, it's like, hurry the fuck up with these picks. Hurry up every year.
It's really fun because the more years I'm in partnership with him, I literally get to see this in action. He is so excited. Countdown. I hear probably 3 weeks before. It's like the draft's in 3 weeks. 2 weeks before, draft's in 2 weeks. The week of, guys, it's like countdown. The draft's in 6 days. The draft's Thursday. The draft's Thursday. It's really exciting. It's like Christmas.
I need to know where Amarian Hampton goes.
Yeah. But then when it's happening, he's like, oh my God, I'll just wait till tomorrow and get the list. But it's really fun. I enjoy the experience with you. It's really fun. Yeah,
So you were horny.
You
were horny last night. I was full of chicken nuggets and potato chips. I was chilling with good friend B.
Wednesday, S's partner.
Husband.
Yeah, it was fun. So anyway, yeah, because I had a long, productive day. I had exercised again for the first time since these allergies gave me some room to breathe. Finished up my work.
So you wanted sex last
done
night.
with
You
menstruation.
didn't get any sex.
No.
So you just have to be patient.
I know. Yeah. And that could have, in this argument, it doesn't because of everything we've worked through, but feel like rejection.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah,
okay.
I guess.
Well, yeah, let's
It's
talk
not my
about
tingle time. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
full of chicken nuggets.
So we talk so openly about these things and talk deeply about the responsibility that we each have for our own pleasure, orgasm, yada, yada. But yeah, I'm curious, has there ever been a time that I have said no, that it has felt like a rejection inside of our partnership?
Within sex? Like with sex? I'm assuming so. We've been together for almost 6 years now. I think when it's like scheduled or when it's like we are set up for a sexy opportunity and then it's a no, it's a letdown. Yep.
Yeah,
Am I disappointed in you? I don't think so because I'm not being sold something. It's like it's not a bait and switch, which is manipulation, because I've said it 1,000 times on this podcast, that you don't manipulate me. And boy, do my fucking bells go off when I feel the feelings of being manipulated or being taken advantage of, like in business. I work in sales, so it happens where you have clients that kind of do these odd things, which I'm sure you run into. Everybody runs into that.
Humanity, yeah.
Yeah, the sense of being manipulated, taken advantage of, told the half-truth, bait and switch, all of these things. So I don't get...
I'm going to stop it. I don't know.
Lauren has her cell phone on vibrate right now.
It's across
and
the
it's
room.
Reached the point where I'm about to spaz.
What do you think it is? The only thing I can think it is that
I think it is. It's not on silent.
No, I think
that's
that our
what it
buddies
is.
must be on Marco Polo is the only
Are
thing.
they poloing right now?
That's
Let me check.
Is that what it is? I'm like, what the heck? It's like 8:30 in the morning.
Hey, it's 9 in the morning.
Is it our friends?
Yeah.
See, it's our friends.
There's some friends talking, and it's great updates as well. Let's get back.
It's great updates.
Let's get back to this one.
Sorry, everyone. Sorry, that's my bad. Did you set a timer when we started?
Yep.
Great. You're so on top of it.
I'm on the ball.
You are.
2 balls. Is that what you?
Like you're sitting on 2 balls.
Okay. What else? What else we chopping up, baby?
Wait, no. I seriously want to talk about this because this has come up so often recently.
Disappointment in sex?
The feeling rejected when someone says no. Okay, why don't you feel rejected when I say no to your sexual advances?
Cliff notes, because you don't manipulate me. And also, what else? We have open communication about this. We've had the tools to talk through these things. Literally, we've had this conversation a bunch throughout the years, so that means we have the reps. So this isn't a surprise. Neither one of us really go to this, like this isn't our default, I want to say.
Withholding sex.
Yeah, well, we don't manipulate each other, and then this isn't our default of feeling rejected when it comes to sex specifically. It's not our kind of default feeling. And then we date each other. And then we take care of ourselves, so we have our own agency. And then we also have a solution of if one of us is horny and the other one's either not, or we got to go, then we both have very healthy masturbatory practices.
Can we talk about that for a second? Is that okay? Because I've brought this up with a few people recently, and or newer clients, older clients, hi, you're going to laugh because they know that this is a thing I encourage all the time, is responsibility for one's own pleasure.
Yep.
And that a healthy masturbatory practice is encouraged in this home. Because, yeah, what did I do last night when I was horny? I had a beautiful solo sex session.
Did you come last night?
Yes.
What the fuck?
You were snoring. Some of it with your laptop on top of you.
Yeah,
You fell asleep trying
I was
so hard
busy.
to hold on.
I was
to the
busy doing
draft.
very important
And then I
work.
would feel like his breath regulate next to him. And meanwhile, I'm just like poking him. I kept bringing his hand over, like, touch my leg.
Because you're trying to get sex?
No. Like while I was working next to you. Remember?
Okay.
Do you remember
Yeah,
that? I would like,
remember that.
I was like tossing legs over you, like, touch me.
Okay, so
touch
keep
me.
going. Keep going with sex.
Okay. So clients who have graduated or worked with me for a long amount of time know that this is an encouraged thing, that maintaining a healthy solo sex practice allows there to be this element of separateness inside of partnership, right? There's a difference between privacy and secrecy. Privacy means I'm an autonomous being, you're an autonomous being. Ooh, sometimes we might get together and have some hot sex. Exciting. But that's not your job to provide me with endless orgasms all day long, every day, when it's convenient for me. Because we have very busy lives that are joyously full of the things that we want to be doing. So sometimes the stars align for us to have spontaneous sex throughout the day. But oftentimes it's set apart times, our Sunday morning ritual. It is things that we anticipate, a date night, this or a that. So clients who are newer to work with me, and I don't think we've talked about it extensively on this podcast, will often only initiate sex one way or the other, and one partner tends to initiate more than the other. And then we have conflated touch and sex so much that touch becomes connected to this thing that's now going to obligate me to sex. And so it's a clusterfuck inside their homes, wherein one party who is the initiator sometimes does get sex, but oftentimes feels rejected. And the other person is either saying no and standing in their no, or giving in and acquiescing and feeling obligatory.
And then they're not having the sex they want.
And then not having the sex that they want. Ding, ding, ding. It's like you're married to a sex educator.
You've said it before where it's like maybe he or she doesn't want that type of sex.
That sex.
Great.
It's not that they don't want sex. Most human beings would love to have pleasure. It's that they don't want that sex. And, tossing a new question to you. Do you have a memory ever, maybe not in our relationship, but in a different relationship, of feeling rejected?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. Can you tell a story?
It was like, let's see.
Or even like a conglomeration of memories.
I just remember, it would turn into like, okay, what am I trying to say? Like feeling rejected or just not having a lot of sex within a relationship. Yes. And then it turned into kind of, I guess, masturbating a lot. I don't know how to tell the story. What are you asking? Then I blame you. See, I trail on and then I just...
Your fault. Woman.
Your fault.
I just think the rejection thing I am very sensitive to, because we all stood there in this exercise feeling rejected, hearing these no's and feeling rejected. And so I think it's just an interesting nuance of how does a no not feel rejecting? And I was trying to, I'll get to the end because sometimes that does help you. What differentiates between the way I say no to your sexual invitations and ways past lovers had in long-term relationships or getting rejected by a potential date? Why, and maybe it's those reps that you did of working on that. So that could be in Trey's dating experiences. Correct me, interrupt me if you're like, I'll tell my story. You did a lot of practicing going out on many dates so that you didn't take a no personally in your dating time. So maybe that's a piece of it. Yeah, because I am really interested these days in no being a thing that we celebrate and get curious about.
Great.
of what limit of yours is that honoring, and also expanding our vocabulary and our phraseology to include things like not now, but at this time, or not that, but this, or, oh, I'm interested, tell me more, or, this could benefit me. Could we do this too? I think that because of the conflation of touch and sex, which this is also a Dr. Betty Martin truism, we have robbed ourselves of so many other like touches and things like that, that I do think we're touch starved. And so I think a lot of my clients who are feeling the rejection of a sexual no are also not getting touch needs met either. And that so many people in male bodies don't have other opportunities to engage with touch. You went and hung out with B last night. I doubt that you two sat on the couch and held hands and snuggled.
No, or like touched each other on the shoulder or something.
Yeah.
No.
Maybe a hug when you got there.
At the beginning and then at the
Yeah,
end.
at the
that
end.
was our...
And he's a good hugger and a very
was our
affectionate
touch.
father and
Yeah.
other things like this. He is a very affectionate, kind man, actually. Like, he has sat there and rubbed my back when I've been crying before.
Great.
Like, he is very affectionate. And we don't live in a culture where heterosexual men, by and large, in the normal, get touch in other ways except from their primary partnership. And so finding ways to expand our vocabulary is really important, I think, because it respects the no while simultaneously acknowledging that inside of partnership, it can be really cool if we meet each other's touch needs and desires.
Okay, so what's a practice exercise that we can do where I invite you for sex, you say no, and then I accept it and not take it personally?
Us in general, or an exercise that we're creating for our audience?
Us in general.
Yeah.
Or both. I guess the answer is both.
Great. I'll use us as an example because I think we've probably done this before subconsciously. If you were to invite me to sex, which you do often, and I hope I'd do the same, and it wasn't, okay. So if you were to invite me to sex and there was a no in my body, I think that I would get curious automatically, but I encourage anyone to just try this on, is this a no to touch? Is this a no to the timing? Is this a no to a feeling in my body? Am I feeling off? Is this a no to too much on my mind right now? Is this a no to a logistical issue? What is this a no to? Because I love just a firm no, and no can be a complete sentence, of course. And yet I think that this is where we could use an expansion palette. It's like if we got our palette of pink colors, no it's totally a color. Great. But then I think there's no and this type of thing. Because I think naturally I would say, oh, baby, thank you for the invitation. Right now, my mind is on work. Typical morning in our home, right? Trey's tingle time. We all know this. And it is not that I wouldn't love to have morning sex with Trey. That sounds delicious. And I also love journaling my dreams. I also love finding my own voice before I sit with clients all day. I also love sometimes wrapping up a project from the night before. I love my morning brain. And it is often on my dreams and desires for the day. And so I would probably work in the other thing that is taking priority in my brain right there. A, thank you for the invitation. A, can we make sure we schedule time for this other time?
Oh, okay. Go. Proposition me.
Okay. Trey, I've had a really great day. And I'm really horny. And now you're home looking all happy and like you had a great friend time and enjoyed your passions. And when I feel you having fun in life, it just makes you more attractive to me. And I'm almost ovulating. and I want to have an orgasm with you.
Oh, baby, I love you so much. I have a resiliency of like a 0.5 right now.
We didn't even mention that. Go.
Yeah. Sex with you is the best thing ever. Can we try to schedule something tomorrow? Also, if you're feeling like a juicy orgasm, can you feel free to have one and then just like tell me what your fantasy was if that was present? Okay, in the morning. Ask me in the morning.
Okay. Ask you in the morning.
Or just ask me for sex right now.
Trey.
Yeah.
Do you want to have sex right now?
I can't. I got to get out the door. I don't think I'm going to be able to be present with you. It sounds so fucking yummy, but I do have to go because I need to do 5 things before I get out the door, and I feel behind right now. Mm-hmm. So I don't think I can be present in a sexual experience. Can you take care of it? And we'll talk later. Mm-hmm. I don't know why I've gotten so quiet all of a sudden, but whatever.
I love it. I think my whole tune, I hope we pick up on the mics. I think we will. It's been a calm, grounded morning. Sure. Yeah. I love that.
Baby.
Yeah.
Hey, do you have time? Like, does an orgasm sound yummy right now? Do you have time? Like a quick one?
So badly. Like, literally, when you said that, my body tingled.
Yeah.
And I have a client at 10.
Yeah.
I had, like, 4 other clients right after that.
Got it.
Of which that I really like to be prepared.
Renegotiation. It's 9:15 right now. Mm-hmm. Do you want to wrap up real quick and then we could just have a yummy thing? I see you have a skirt on. And I know your makeup's all done, so
That's literally what I was thinking.
Let's do a rule of no kissing right now, and then we can both just have an orgasm and go about our day. I've seen studies that it's very healthy.
Is it very healthy?
Mm-hmm.
God bless.
Are you interested in health?
Am I interested in health?
Mm-hmm.
Do I know the long-term benefits of a healthy orgasmic practice?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Does that sound good to you?
It sounds so good to me.
I feel like I'm selling a car.
It sounds so good to me. Could we touch and caress? And could you feel me up?
Mm-hmm.
And could we send you off hot and bothered? And keep me hot and bothered? Can we hold on to this energy and reconnect earlier this evening or tomorrow morning? I have a lot of things on my mind, and I got dressed not only to podcast but to make some social content.
Love it. Yeah, you go do that.
I
can't commit to holding and saving this energy.
Ooh, really?
But I can promise that the energy will be renewed within my power source. I've got
We'll come back again.
I've got a lot of energy for a lot of different things. Or a lot of different experiences that are the same exact thing.
Well, how come sometimes you hold it for me and you like keep it for me, and then sometimes you don't?
Because I'm my own man. Because I have autonomy within myself.
If you come in a solo sex practice or a healthy masturbatory practice, will you tell me what you came to?
100%. Yeah.
Do you think it'll have anything to do about the dreams that you had last night?
Like dirty and perverse? Do you want to hear that stuff too?
I do.
It's very vulnerable for me to share that.
Am I a safe space for you to share that?
You are.
Why? How do you know that?
Because I don't get criticized after sharing certain things.
Do you like it when I share the...
Oh, yeah. It's my favorite. I think it's my favorite
red light
thing in the
district
world.
with you?
Yeah.
Really?
You share the fucked up shit that goes on in your head. It's my favorite thing in the world, babe.
Does it make you feel like you're missing out on something if, for instance, I had my lovely orgasm last night while you were asleep beside me with your laptop on top of you? Do you feel robbed of anything?
No.
Why?
Because it's a celebrated part of our partnership to do just that. If you're horny and you want to come, it gets celebrated.
I think in our house, pleasure is abundant.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a scarcity.
And sometimes when it's not abundant, great example, you've been sick for like 5 days, right?
Yes.
You've been menstruating.
Yeah.
As well as terribly low energy, as well as sinus stuff, as well as allergies. There's so much pollen in the air right now. It's fucking people up.
It is
anyway,
insane.
So there hasn't been an abundance of sex because your body is trying to like repair itself and get more energy. But that's not something that I take personally. And it's not something that's I expect out of you. You're trying to heal.
Right.
Now, if I were to say, baby, would an orgasm help? And you could go within self and answer the question honestly. But like me expecting that, I don't think is fair. Or me being disappointed that I'm not getting a lot of sex, I don't think is fair also. Do I want it? 100%.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you missed it?
Oh, yeah. I've missed kissing.
I have
because we haven't
too.
been
My
kissing.
gosh. Because
I have been like, and also you've been in the house so much where it's like, we're not kissing. You've been around because what was it like 2 nights ago? I was like, go away.
I texted Wednesday and was like,
Go
get
away.
out of this house, please.
Because that's right.
Away.
Wednesday nights you're with.
I am. And so I've been, again, I didn't know if I was sick or if this was allergies. And so I've tried to be cautious because I do not want to get you sick. I think we're very clear this is allergies by this point. But yeah, Monday, my Aura ring was like, you're showing major warning signs. So I like canceled nail appointments. I was canceling things right and left. And it's just been so frustrating. I literally think it's allergies.
Yeah.
But like the fatigue has been unreal.
Sucks.
Yeah. And so, yeah, that conundrum of I've been around a lot, but not super touchy-feely or kissy.
We've only gotten touches and not kisses, not like erotic, because kissing is erotic. And then fucking, highly erotic.
Well, but do you remember what happened on Monday when I came in from reading my book in the yard? I would argue that we have had some great sex. I had a bathing suit on.
Did we have sex? Did we?
I came in from reading my book, which my clients have been laughing because I've been telling the story. This is what I'm going to make a video about. That they're like, why did you go outside? And I was like, because they were like, if this is allergies, Lauren, you need less outside time. You need more inside time. Shut all the doors.
Yeah. Logic doesn't really apply to Lauren, like when she's feeling like deprived.
This is deprived. My weekends are so precious to me, and I was so mad that I couldn't do all my fun things. So I was like, the only thing I have capacity to do is read. Lovely. It was gorgeous outside. And so I could hear in my head all of the people saying, you need to not be with the pollen. You need to be inside, maybe take a shower, rinse out the sinuses.
You didn't ask them for their advice?
I didn't
ask them?
I didn't.
I've presented a neti pot to you to rinse out your sinuses, and you're like, no. So it's whatever.
I'm a stubborn little woman.
Well, you just want to do it your way, which is fine.
Yeah. So I did read my very sexy romance novel that a client gave me.
Oh, that's right. And then you came in, you wanted some sex. That's right. I remember now.
Do you remember now?
Yeah, I provided you with the sex. Yeah.
Oh, you got some too. It was very hot.
Yeah.
It was.
One of my kinks is like, hey, I need you to fuck me.
Yeah.
It's like, great.
So he
I need
does
you to
forget.
provide this service to me.
In the midst of my sex and menstruation, I mean, my sinuses and my menstruation, I have, still had sex.
Yeah.
Interesting point, though. You were like, you've been sick and menstruating and not exactly craving yada yada. I have had a few orgasms because they do help me feel better.
Correct.
And yet the capacity I have had for partnered sex, not the same as the capacity for a masturbatory practice.
Yeah.
Very different. Very different. And this is another thing I spend time talking with clients about is that a masturbatory practice is not going to replace partnered sex. No. Sex with you, different experience than masturbation. Orgasm is lovely in a masturbatory practice. I have sex with you for more than an orgasm. I have sex with you for, Esther Perel says, sex is not something we do. Sex is someplace we go. I have sex with you for the adventure. I have sex with you for the connection and the mutually shared pleasure and the way in which your face lights up and the play.
Yes, yeah.
The eroticism, the feeling of desire and want coming at me from another human being. I can concoct all of that in my head, sure.
Not as good.
Not as good. No, not replacing the other. So that's why I was asking you did you feel some kind of way when I came last night without you? No, because in our relationship, Trey's jerk off is not replacing me. I am not threatened by his self-pleasure practice. Not at all. In fact, it relieves me of obligation. And I hope it does the same for you. I don't want us to feel like if we don't give the sex, there's going to be a bitter partner.
Question to you. If I fantasize about another woman, or if I use porn to orgasm, why doesn't that affect you, or why don't you take that personally, or why doesn't that hurt you or dishonor you? Mm-hmm. Why?
In years past, it would have. I have done a lot of work around this, so thank you for the question. I have come to the opinion that porn and fantasy and erotic materials to assist and complement a self-pleasure practice are equivalent to driving through the Chick-fil-A. That is delicious. It's going to nourish us. It feeds our souls and our bellies. And Chick-fil-A is never going to put a local staple that is great for fine dining in our little community that's called Isabella's. It's never going to put Isabella's out of business. Ever. They are not even in competition. Why? Because they're different. Do they still feed the body? 100%. Do they meet different needs? Also, yes. Is there anything wrong with the Chick-fil-A aside from so many of their human practices? No. If Trey was like, I'm going to go drive through Chick-fil-A and get a sandwich or 2 grilled fillets, I would be like, hooray. I'm glad you're feeding your body. I hope it's delicious, right? I hope they say my pleasure. I hope these things. And also, if we had scheduled a date night to go to Isabella's and have drinks and then a salad and then a main course and then a dessert, I would love that too. And nowhere in our wildest dreams, if we dressed up to go out on a date to Isabella's, would you all of a sudden say, you know what, babe, I'm not in the mood. I'm going to go by myself to Chick-fil-A. That would be threatening if you chose that over me on a time that we had set apart. But they're just not in competition. I'm not worried if I'm Isabella's about Chick-fil-A.
Cool.
And so I have just I've gotten to untangle this idea that pleasure is a scarce resource. There is abundance in that.
So you're not in toleration if I have a masturbatory practice.
I'm glad you're fed.
Great.
I'm super glad that I'm not over there feeling this pressure of, if I don't have sex with him, it is a reflection on me.
Why don't you make me wait? And then why do you not criticize me for not waiting?
Because you have a right to your body, to your pleasure. It is your responsibility to care for your needs. It's not my job. I have uncoupled this idea that women are my competition, that these incredibly beautiful entertainers on porn or these characters in a story on literotica are my competition. I say, fuck that. I say women deserve pleasure as much as men deserve pleasure, and I am not in competition with these women on the screen. In fact, I can celebrate their pleasure as well. I trust that you are a human being who has a right to his own sexual privacy. And it is not mine to take from, and it is not mine to say, you must hold this for me. That it is some finite resource that will be depleted. If you go and jerk off to porn in the basement, there won't be any left for me. It is not true. It is aligned to, this goes back to the school system, that it is aligned to an old value system that I no longer ascribe to. It is not based in scientific and medical fact. There is plenty of semen in your body. There's like, you are fine. You will be able to ejaculate at some other time. Now, if you were using erotic materials and a masturbatory practice to self-soothe because you didn't want to have hard conversations with me, I would be offended. If you were using porn to ejaculate because I was turning you off because of something else and you were avoiding that conversation, I would be offended. If you were not prioritizing dating me because you didn't want to do the work to be a man that I enjoyed going on dates with, I would be offended. But that is not the man that you are. And I think that sometimes we forget the character of the person that we've chosen. And I tell my clients all the time, he's either a motherfucker or he's a good guy. And if he's a motherfucker, get out of partnership with him and find a person who's a good guy, because it's doing neither of you any benefit. Because we all deserve to be growing and be held to another standard. And guess what? The people that we're in partnership with are a direct reflection of ourselves. So get out of the partnership. If he cannot have conversations with you that make you feel desirous of him. If he just jerks off in the basement, yeah, get a different partner. Stop criticizing him. Maybe it's not his time in life yet. But no, I don't feel offended because you convey your desire for me at all times. At all times. And if there is a time at some point in this relationship when I feel something's lacking and I feel some type of correlation to your self-pleasure practice, I'll address it with you. But that has never, ever happened. Now, I take that back. We went to San Diego for a work trip, a wedding and a work trip. And we were going to be in the hotel literally that we first met in. Yeah. And it was like a big deal. And we got there and I needed to rush to volunteer hilariously because that's why I was there early when we had our date. And I was really excited to have a shared sexual encounter with you. And do you remember this?
Yes.
This, we had not done, we didn't have as many tools as we have right now. But I was really excited for that. And I think I needed to run to volunteer and then I was excited to come back.
Yep.
And have a shared sexual encounter with you. And I had left and I'd forgotten something in the room. So I had to run back into the room. And Trey was jerking off to porn in the bathroom.
I think I was on the bed, and what I did is like I hid everything, and then I didn't come clean at the time, and I kind of bypassed it. Like I tried to cover it up, and I was caught.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we have a couple things here. We have a lack of shared expectation and desire, which I don't think is anybody's fault. And then we had secrecy and the feeling of deceit. It wasn't the porn. And we had this beautiful conversation, I want to say, over the course of the next 3 days. But it did cause hurt. It 100% caused hurt.
Correct.
But it wasn't the pleasure and the orgasm that caused the hurt. And this is what we had to really work on. It was the deceit. Deceit and secrecy will destroy all day, every day. I'm not here for it. I'm not here for it. But no, I'm not offended by porn or your jerk-off practice. I kind of went on a soapbox right then. But then I saw you smiling, and I was like, oh, he's like, good job. Thank you for coming to this episode of the Partnership Podcast with Lauren and Trey, where we share our opinions, and you get to listen. You have a right to self-determination and informed decision-making. Take what you like, leave the rest. If this conversation has intrigued you today and you want to know more or chat with me more, go to sexedforyou.com/free consult. I would love to get to know you and see if the tools that I have may be a benefit to you. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, all the juicy stuff. Have a great rest of your day. And remember to celebrate your no. Goodbye.